Welcome to First Call Staffing's training video on hazard communication and safety in the office. As an employee of this company, you have the right to know about hazardous chemicals that may be present in your workplace. This is outlined in OSHA's HAZCOM standard, also known as the Hazard Communication Standard. The purpose of the HAZCOM standard is to ensure that both employers and employees are aware of the dangers of the chemicals in their workplace. The standard provides you with the right to know about the chemicals you may encounter on the job and explains how to protect yourself from the hazards associated with these chemicals. At First Call Staffing, we put your safety first. To help achieve this, we maintain a list of all hazardous chemicals used or stored in the office. You have the right to access the list and get information on any chemical hazards you may encounter. To ensure we comply with the hazard communication requirements, First Call Staffing has created a written hazard communication program for your safety. This program outlines how chemicals are to be handled in the workplace to keep you protected and how important information will be shared with you. Here are some basic precautions you can take when working with or around hazardous office chemicals. Read all product labels and follow usage directions carefully. Use proper personal protective equipment like gloves or goggles. Never mix cleaning products together. This can create toxic fumes. Clean up spills right away, following proper safety procedures. Report any leaking or damaged chemical containers, and only use chemicals in well-ventilated areas. For your safety, it is important for you to understand how to handle any chemicals you work with in a safe manner. If you have any questions about a chemical, you can read the safety data sheet or talk with the company's risk manager to find out more information. Before working with any chemicals, you must know how to read and understand the chemical's corresponding safety data sheet, or SDS, and the labeling provided on the chemical's container. A copy of the safety data sheets are kept at each branch office. The safety data sheet provides details on chemicals, including physical dangers, safety procedures, and emergency response procedures. There are 16 sections to the safety data sheet that tell you important information. When looking at a safety data sheet, here are the top 5 sections you should know about. Section 1 identifies the name of the chemical on the safety data sheet and its recommended uses. Section 2 identifies the hazards of the chemical and the appropriate warning information associated with the hazards. Section 4 tells you what to do in case of exposure to the chemical. Section 8 indicates the exposure limits, engineering controls, and personal protective measures that can be used to minimize your exposure to the chemical. And Section 11 provides toxicological and health effects information, such as if it is a carcinogen or causes cancer. It is your responsibility to read and understand container labeling and the appropriate safety data sheets for the chemicals that you will work with. Knowing these things helps you to take the necessary steps in protecting not only yourself, but also your coworkers. Never leave chemical safety to chance. Be sure you know the hazards of the chemical you are working with. If you look at the safety data sheet for RAID Wasp and Hornet Killer, in Section 11, the toxicological hazards, it tells you that the dermal toxicity of RAID, or absorption through the skin, is just as deadly as the oral toxicity, or swallowing it. Section 2 of the safety data sheet tells you the potential routes of exposure for the chemicals that you need to worry about. Remember, knowledge is power, and when it comes to chemicals, it is the power to protect yourself. In 2013, OSHA adopted the Global Harmonization System. In the GHS system, the hazard categories are numbered from 1 to 5. The lower the number, the greater the severity of the hazard. So a Category 1 hazard would be the most dangerous to you. The GHS, or Globally Harmonized System hazard rating, communicates physical, health, and environmental hazards of chemicals. It uses pictograms, signal words like danger or warning, and hazard statements to indicate the seriousness of the hazard. Categories include explosives, gases under pressure, flammables, health hazards, corrosives, and environmentally toxic chemicals. The hazard rating system of the NFPA, or the National Fire Protection Association, was the system used in the United States before the GHS system came into existence. It uses a diamond symbol, with numbers from 0 to 4 in blue, red, yellow, and white sections to rank health, flammability, instability, and special hazards. The higher the number, the greater the hazard. This system helps firefighters quickly identify dangers when responding to fires and emergencies. A key difference is that while both systems use a 4-number scale, the GHS categories are contradictory to the NFPA ratings, meaning they are the exact opposite of each other. A health rating of 4 on the GHS system indicates a relatively low hazard, while a health rating of 4 on the NFPA Diamond means extremely high hazard. The safety data sheet will always contain the GHS rating, but it is common to find the traditional NFPA rating being used in the workplace as well. Understand the difference and know which scale you're looking at so that you can understand the hazard. The GHS label will tell you 6 key things: the product name, the signal word, hazard statements, precautionary statements, supplier information, and necessary pictograms. All labels on the container must be in good condition and legible. When you transfer a chemical from its original container into a different container, that different container is considered to be the secondary container. The secondary container at a minimum must have the name of the chemical and identify its hazard. For example, a spray bottle of isopropyl alcohol used to sanitize something must be labeled as alcohol and flammable. However, if you pour glass cleaner into a secondary container, there is no hazard associated with glass cleaner, so the container must only be labeled with its contents, Windex or glass cleaner. Speaking up about chemical safety concerns or asking questions shows that you take responsibility for your own health and safety and that of your coworkers. We are all in this together, so don't hesitate to speak up or speak out if you ever feel unsafe around chemical products in the office. Following the hazard communication guidelines helps us create a positive safety culture. We can all contribute by staying informed, following safety rules, and looking out for one another. Working safely is a team effort. I hope this gives you a good overview of hazard communication and your right to know when it comes to chemical hazards in the office. Let's work together to keep our workplace safe.